Welcome to Esoteric Recaps. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. A man named Alderson awakens in the opening scene of the movie in a cube-shaped chamber with luminous, computer circuit-like walls and 6 doors, one at the center of each wall, ceiling, and floor. He opens 2 of the doors after regaining his composure and peers inside to discover chambers that are identical to the one he is in save for color. The 3rd door is then opened, and he enters. He takes a step after taking a glance around before being abruptly sliced into sizable square-shaped pieces. He crumbles, revealing the rack of crosshatched wires that tore him apart. It retracts and folds. Later, Quentin, Worth, Holloway, Wren, and Levin are discovered together in a different room. None of them are aware of their location, how they got there, or their motivations. However, Quentin is aware that there are traps because he once looked into a room and almost lost his head. The 5 resolve to search for a way out while remaining as a group. Wren assumes command. By throwing a boot into the rooms while holding onto the laces to potentially set off potential traps, he demonstrates how to test for traps. Aliens or the government are 2 of the many potential creators of the cube that Holloway theorizes about. Wren explains that staying motionless won't help and advises them to keep moving straight ahead till they reach their destination. The others concur, and they start to make their way through the rooms. As they proceed, they see a string of various numbers on the hatchways that connect the various rooms. Wren pokes his boot inside the room at one point but finds nothing. He notices that the air is dry and concludes that the device most likely uses an electrochemical sensor to detect hydrogen sulfide released from the skin. Wren is a skilled escape artist who has gotten out of more than 7 significant jails, Quentin realizes. Wren is then sprayed with acid after jumping into a room that has been tested with a boot. The acid corrodes his face and the interior of his head while the others drag him back, but he dies nonetheless. The crew determines that Wren must have overlooked some electrochemical sensor, and they realize they need to come up with a better method of evaluating the rooms. Everyone is questioned by Quentin about their jobs. In contrast to Holloway's claim that she is a doctor, Worth claims that he works in an office building, doing office building stuff. He claims to be a police officer. Levin asserts that all she does is hang out with her friends. Nobody has a function in the cube, according to Quentin, and nothing is a coincidence. Quentin queries Holloway about why Levin has her glasses while Holloway has had her jewelry removed when she mentions her rings and brooches. Levin demonstrates her mathematical prowess by glancing at the numbers on a crawlspace and speculating that the room is booby-trapped if one of the numbers is prime. They move through the cubes with Levin's goal changing to crack the cube's code. Quentin checks the entrance in the ceiling, through which a 7th person, Kazan, falls when they find themselves in a room with trapped chambers above and below. He seems to have a mental disability. 2 of the other participants consider him to be a burden, but Holloway chooses to bring him along. When the gang begins to speculate about their surroundings, Quentin and Holloway get into an argument. Holloway believes that Quentin is ignorant because he views Holloway's theories as conspiracy theories. Soon after, Quentin walks into a room devoid of prime numbers and nearly escapes a trap made of revolving razor wires. It is disproven that non-prime numbered rooms are secure, contrary to Levin's hypothesis. Quentin grows increasingly upset with Kazan's mental state and starts to wonder if Worth is a spy. The group takes a break as Levin works to understand the data. After a while, Quentin uses deception to force Worth to admit that he is one of the architects behind the massive cube-shaped shell that houses the cube-shaped rooms. When questioned about who hired him to complete the task, he replies that he is unsure. Despite the others' growing mistrust of him, Quentin even assaults him. Worth is able to reveal the outer cube's size to them. It has a circumference of 434 feet, 26 rooms, and a total of 17,576 rooms. After that, Levin makes the deduction that the distances between the rooms could be represented by Cartesian coordinates that indicate where the rooms are located within the cube. The group starts to make its way to the closest edge. The traps start to boot the rooms once more. The group must proceed through a room that has a sound-activated trap in it. Kazan should stay behind, but Quentin is overruled by Holloway. Everyone survives, but when it is Quentin's turn, Kazan calls out, almost killing him. When Holloway intervenes to stop Quentin from beating him, he turns on her and they get into a violent argument that ends with Quentin slapping her. Even still, the tensions are still present. When the gang finally reaches one of the side edges of the cube, they find a space between the door and the outside shell. Holloway offers to swing out on the rope to look around while they construct a rope out of their garments. The cube trembles as Holloway is dangling outside the room and almost trips over. She falls to her death after Quentin catches her. He claims she slipped, but the others don't believe him. The gang then resolves to attempt to reach the cube's bottom edge, but they come to the consensus that they must first take a break. Quentin carries Levin into another room as they snooze. When it is clear that Levin does not like him, he makes sexual overtures toward her and becomes aggressive in an attempt to get her to leave the other people. In order to save Levin, Worth and Kazan awaken. The remainder of the group surmises that Quentin killed Holloway because of his paranoia and his statement that he did not trust her. Furious, Quentin beats Worth before throwing him through a floor door. When Worth enters that room, he discovers Ren's dead body and laughs uncontrollably. When Worth realizes that the acid room that murdered Ren is no longer nearby, they realize they have been traveling in circles. He as well as Levin understand that the rooms must be shifting. The greater set of prime powers, rather than just prime numbers as Levin had previously believed, are used to identify chambers that contain traps. The detainees are then required to do 3 three-digit number prime computations for each room they enter. Kazan, fortunately, is now revealed to be an autistic savant who is capable of performing these calculations fast and effortlessly. As the room numbers are read to him, he utters the number of distinct prime factors that each number possesses. With Kazan's assistance, they safely make their way outside. Worth comes up with a strategy to take down the absolutely insane Quentin. They leave Quentin to die as Worth fights him into a room below them. They go on and arrive at the bridge cube. Bright light floods into the room as soon as they open the door. Worth declares that he will stay put because the outside world offers him nothing. As he and Levin are having a private moment, Quentin suddenly enters, having managed to catch up to the group. He then stabs Levin to death with a door handle that he had somehow managed to sever from a door. As Kazan is climbing out, he grabs him and stabs Worth as well. When Worth uses all of his remaining strength to clutch Quentin's leg, the cubes realign, crushing Quentin in the crawlspace between them. Worth dies while lying down next to Levin after saving Kazan. The last image shows Kazan moving slowly toward a bright light. Like and subscribe for more videos and notifications. Thanks for watching.